Just near on 9,000 people attended across 5 venues around the state as the NBL Blitz was in town last week, and Chargers TV was there to cover all the action, and we're going to review it right now. Hello everyone, welcome to Chargers TV. Ron Ricks, Justin Bryan alongside you here. We're recording on AFL Grand Final Eve as we welcome JB into the coverage, who is a nervous Richmond supporter right now.
Very nervous. I was just as nervous as I think a lot of Tasmanian basketball fans were heading into last weekend, Ronnie, but much like the end of the weekend, paid dividends big time, and I'm really hoping the Tigers can pull it off tomorrow as we record this on Friday. Hopefully tomorrow the Tigers can pull off a big one and ease those nerves a lot. So, I'm pumped, should be psyched, just as pumped and psyched as I was last weekend.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the NBL Blitz that came into town, and what a great 4 days it was, JB. Absolutely sensational. We started off in Ulverston, we finished at the Doon Entertainment Centre here in Hobart, and boy, oh boy, wasn't there some great action. I mean, Brisbane Bullets won it on the points-based format, and of course Brisbane unfortunately flew out of Launceston, so they couldn't accept their trophy on the Sunday. But JB, what was your take of the Blitz?
Unbelievable, and the hype that is being spread globally from the results of a lot of different players, LaMelo Ball obviously being the feature there. But, I mean, seeing all the talent that is league-wide, the athleticism, the size, I mean, it really puts into perspective some of the action that we see constantly on the television, but certainly that we see locally. I mean, a lot of people here in Tassie be used to, a centre's only 6'6" in your local league. Well, 6'6" was a two-guard, playing a three spot, to see the athleticism and the size of some of these players, and to actually see the human side of a lot of players too. I mean, we caught up with a who's who of the NBL across the weekend. We've seen a who's who. We saw some of the best athleticism and action in the country that you will see. And just to really speak to the people, not only on the floor, but those involved with it off the floor, the humane side of the game, the organisation of the game. I mean, it was a terrific experience, one that you and I can go with, Ronald, for a very long time and certainly take it into our careers as we go forward. But I mean, it was a great experience for those involved, the fans, the players, the referees. Everyone really enjoyed the Blitz, made the most of it. Eye-opening experience for sure, but one that Tasmania basketball will cherish and certainly have in the memory bank for a long time.
Of course, this makes a huge push now for a potential Tasmanian team in the NBL, talking with NBL owner Larry Kelserman, who we were able to get for an interview, and we'll work out how we're going to put that interview depending on which format, because we were there on behalf of BTAS TV, who we also do some stuff with. But Larry, was very happy with the attendances, Tassie fans voting on their feet, and this can only help that push maybe for a Tasmanian team in the NBL.
Well, 9,000 people across 4 days in 5 different cities. I mean, that's massive. That's huge. The most attended Blitz, the highest attended Blitz ever for the NBL. And I think we'll put a photo up, Ronnie. Managed to have our photographer get a capture of you interviewing Mr. Kesselman, and the look and the smile on his face as he's giving details of everything across the weekend is only promising. He sat courtside, front and centre with Premier Will Hodgman, who we also managed to get a chat to.
Yes, absolutely.
And positive vibes coming out of him as well. Everyone that, was a main stakeholder and a big player in getting the Blitz here to Tasmania and really emphasising and pushing the game of basketball to an elite level here in Tasmania, more than satisfied with the results they got. And how could they not be? 3,500 people pouring into the entertainment centre alone on the Sunday. There was a triple header of games there. There was the dunk contest, there's the three-point contest. Kingborough saw back-to-back games, 2 good games there as well. So that's 5. They're the 2 Ronnie and I saw.
Absolutely.
The interaction, the activation down at Salamanca on the Saturday. The games up at the Silverdome in Launceston, the games in Devonport, the games in Ulverston. Stars all across the board going everywhere. Fans getting a chance to really interact with the players as well. Massive weekend, Ronnie. Really enjoyed it. As we said, having spoken to Larry Kesselman, you can really see the push that they want to have a Tasmanian side to truly make this a more national competition once again. 9 licences currently granted, looking to grant a 10th as soon as possible. And with the numbers, the voting on the feet, I mean, $300,000 was invested into this, and I'd say almost tenfold of that money was put back into the state, into the economy over the weekend, over the 4 days. So big tick in the box there. Fans voting on their feet, big tick in the box. Great action, big tick in the box. Excitement levels buzzing globally over the Blitz and the performance of players. Ronnie, it's a big step in the right direction.
Absolutely. And we spoke to a number of NBL players during the course of the 4 days, and they are all for an NBL Tasmanian team here in a not too distant future. Thank you.
Well, the amount of players we talked about too, that it's such an alternate and such a different, relaxing vibe. I mean, they can come down here, and whilst also being elite players and putting on a show, they can, again, express themselves in a more human way. I mean, on the Thursday, we went right through 4 or 5 different schools, capturing clinics, getting interviews with players. The Friday, we had some media commitments pre-game, back-to-back games there. Again, the activation Saturday. Sunday, able to catch up with some players, who have played NBL 1 Seabull level, all that sort of stuff. And the guys like the idea of being able to come down to Tasmania and treat it like a mini holiday. And I think that's one thing that gives a big aspect and a big tick to Tasmania is it's not like anywhere else. It's not like getting into Sydney where, okay, you hit the airport, you've got to hit the hotel, then you've got to hit the gym, then you've got to get back. They can come down to Tas. If they want to go down to Salamanca and grab a coffee or just relax, get a bite to eat, they can. There's no hustle, there's no bustle. It's a really relaxing trip. And I mean, one of our more notable interviews that we got was with Damien Martin, the defensive juggernaut of the Perth Wildcats out at Taroona High. And I mean, he just spoke about how they do over 100 school visits a year in Perth and, the metropolitan Western Australia area. He'd never been to a school like Taroona on the river with a view like that, and he said he could really see and wants to see clubs come down, players to experience that sort of environment, and again, just really broaden their scope for their basketball as well. So, it was awesome to see them come down and really enjoy themselves.
Absolutely. And now, you mentioned to me you're a bit of a casual NBL kind of viewer. Has the Blitz changed your perspective a little bit?
Hell yeah. Unbelievable. I mean, there's some footage that we've got at the dunk contests. I think the thing that a lot of people need to put in perspective, and this is just coming from me, is that, okay, everyone looks at the NBA, okay, the 500 best players in the world playing in the NBA, and that's true, but you need to understand that, okay, you see players at NBL 1 level, they are evidently, and results will show, again, no disrespect to the NBL 1 All-Star team, they are considerably a step below what you see at NBL level. I mean, Dane Pinot, a good friend of the program, 6'9", 6'10", big body, dominates the NBL 1. Well, there's footage here, footage in his game at the Entertainment Centre, got absolutely monstered under the basket for a dunk that nearly ripped the rim down. And again, Dane's not a small guy by any stretch of the imagination, a great player, but it's the competition they're going up against that's to that next level. We're talking about guys who have pushed into the NBA. We're talking about guys who play to a high level in Europe, guys who, push to the Olympics. I mean, you've got to respect what these guys do as athletes, what they do as players, and their ability. Sure, everyone will go, oh, wow, he only rides the bench. Gee, even I could have scored there. Good luck. I mean, LaMelo Ball, there was a lot of doubters, particularly in the United States, just what LaMelo Ball could do. LaMelo went from, okay, he might make the first round to, is there anyone that's going to go above him in the draft? And that was only over a 2-3 game stretch. RJ Hampton slowly working his game up again. From his first game to his last game on the weekend, considerable change in the way he adapted to men. The athleticism was there, the professionalism that's there. I mean, we were in the middle of having an off-camera conversation with Craig Moller, and all of a sudden Craig couldn't even just finish the conversation. He said, "Gotta go, guys." Straight off, straight into drills, straight into training, and the presentation level too. I don't think people get how much actually goes into a game. I mean, sitting there at the Entertainment Centre on the Sunday, had the game between New Zealand and Southeast Melbourne. Bang, everyone's out. A whole hour. Had to revamp the seating, reorganise, clean up, get teams on, practice, make sure lights and everything are working. It's a massive, massive step up. And again, everyone can sit there and go, oh, but I want to watch the NBA and blah, blah, blah. I've got friends in the United States who are following LaMelo and following RJ, and they're wanting to get coverage of them. They're that interested in the way the league's going and the players there. So, I mean, definitely converted me. I am obviously a diehard NBA fan, but I have way more interest. I mean, the dunk contest alone, the athleticism there, I think the humbleness of the players, the realism of who they are, it really captivates you as a fan, and you've got to respect it. Yeah, I'm a much bigger fan of the NBL than I was going into last weekend.
Well, there you go. You've heard there from JB. #See Incredible.
Damn right. Check out anyone that gets a chance, go and watch Terry Armstrong's opening dunk of the dunk contest.
We'll throw division up.
Right now, I mean,
division up.
here you go, coming down. What's that? Just going to leap over a bloke and throw a windmill dunk one-handed to open the contest? Ridiculous. I mean, Terry Armstrong certainly in the program to get towards the NBA, and you can see why, but guys like Sean Long flying in, he's a big dude there as well. And Nick Pozoglu, one of our favourites from NBL 1, serious athleticism as well. So, again, you got to respect it. I mean, massive, massive weekend, awesome highlights. Privileged to be there, Ronnie.
Was a fun day, Sunday at the Doon Entertainment Centre, certainly showing the whole biz and bang and entertainment side of things was absolutely fantastic. We caught up with Chargers President David Bartlett, and here's his thoughts about the Blitz.
It's so good to have NBL back in Tasmania, and you just see what a level above it is in terms of the basketball that we've been seeing in Tasmania. Fantastic, all the kids, the big crowds we've had, just great. And we can only hope that this, of course, results in a NBL Tasmanian team, which has always been our dream.
The thoughts there from Hobart Chargers President David Bartlett, and JB, it was like Christmas for DB with the NBL in town.
Had a very interesting weekend, DB. Our wife Larissa submitting her thesis for her doctorate and treating her to courtside tickets Friday and Sunday as a birthday and thank you present. I don't know whose thank you and birthday present it really was, but I mean, David's a passionate basketball person. Everyone here that follows Chargers TV, follows the Chargers, follows basketball in general, knows about it. And I mean, he was over the moon with it, rocking his retro Anthony Stewart Devils singlet all weekend, really enjoying the action. And again, I think as well, it brings a lot of ideas that, you know, to try and keep Tassie NBL ready is to take some of those ideas from game night and bring them in, whether it be seating arrangements, entertainment ideas, just the way, you know, even, you know, the courtside announcer works and the DJ works and things like that. But no, I really, you know, David really enjoyed it. And I mean, this is what a lot of his hard work was. I mean, getting the Chargers back getting Chargers out of the red was one thing. Done. Okay. Wanted to bring them a championship. Done. Wanted them NBL ready. Pretty much without having the test graded, I'd say done, Ronald. So I think it was a sense of relief and a sense of accomplishment for David to see something like that. And again, he's a massive hoops fan as well.
Absolutely.
You know, brags on about this LeBron guy wearing Jordans. I don't know why he does that. Everyone knows our little rivalry we've got there. But I mean, you know, he's a passionate hoops fan. He's passionate about what he does. And again, you know, to see his home court of Kingborough and his home, you know, some of his home arenas getting on national TV in the United States, you know, another tick in the box there as well. And I mean, David being a former premier wants to export Tasmania to the world, and what better way to do it by sitting courtside and watching it happen in front of your eyes. He really enjoyed it, thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think he's really chomping at the bit to go that extra step right now.
Oh, absolutely, JB. And I'm sure we'll hear more from David Bartlett over the coming weeks. We'll touch on some Chargers news very shortly. Just quickly, my thanks to Nick Johnson and his team at the NBL. They did a terrific job in catering for us when we're doing when we did our camera work and obviously our photography work. It was absolutely fantastic. We were very flexible. Him, likewise to us as well too. So a big thank you to Nick Johnson. Also a big thank you to actually Chris McCoy, Basketball Tasmania CEO, for allowing us to cover it under Basketball Tasmania TV, or BTAS TV as we call it, and there's been a few clips that have already gone up online. The Coaches Clinic is up on the BTAS YouTube page. The interview with David Martin is up on the BTAS Facebook page. We'll work on trying to get some footage here to whack on Chargers. We'll work through that. But no, a big thanks to Chris for allowing us to cover it, and it was certainly a lot of fun. And loved the 4 days. Favourite moment, very quickly.
Easily filming that dunk contest, getting that footage of that dunk there was certainly a highlight. But I think the big thing that allows you with the media pass, Ronnie, if I can just touch on it quickly, is you do get a little bit more insight than someone who's sitting up in the, you know, even sitting at courtside. I mean, you know, we're able to get on court a little bit. We're able to get right under the basket. You know, we're able to get towards the coaches' huddles. You know, we're able to get towards sort of where the referees are talking and post game and all that sort of stuff. So you sort of get a little bit more inside and, you know, inside information, so to speak, as to what's going on. And I think that was, you know, the big thing. And that's what I thank Chris for the opportunity for, to allow us, you know, putting in the work and the effort that we do to be rewarded with an opportunity like that with one of the 3 biggest leagues in the world was just fantastic. Again, thanking Nick and his media team and everyone there. And everyone really ran into to at the Blitz. I mean, even talking to Macca, the Illawarra Hawks announcer. He was
shout out to Macca.
Yeah, shout out to Macca if he manages to get a view on this. But I mean, he was great in Cumberson. He wanted to know what we did. Anything we could get advice for, we did. Any way he could help. And I mean, even to the point where he said if we're ever up in Illawarra and we want to catch up and grab tickets to a game, he said just to let him know. But everyone that was involved from the media side of both clubs. And anyone that was involved in the general media presentation was of great help and a great bonus. And again, just a really thorough experience. And anyone that sort of wants to get into the basketball side of media, obviously you've got to take the right routes and do the hard work to get there. But I mean, if you get an opportunity like this, relish it, cherish it, and embrace it, because it could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you, or it can lead to other avenues. And again, the networking and the experience that I think we both got out of this, Ronnie, invaluable, and certainly something we're thankful for and would love to do again.
Oh, absolutely, JB. I echo.
And that's probably my highlight, being able to do that.
There you go. I echo those.
I
echo those comments. 100% right there. Also, I nearly forgot our photographer Rod Turton, who
dominant.
Rod that takes photos for took photos for the Chargers and took photos for the Huskies this year, and then helped us out at the 2 games and also at Salamanca. Big thank you to him as well too for helping us out there as well. Just quickly, my highlight. There is too many to name. To be quite honest,
you were in your element. Let's be honest, Ronnie. You were in your element.
Oh, I absolutely had a ball. Great. It was great to see live NBL action again for someone that is very passionate about the league and a big fan about the NBL and been watching it since a youngster.
Oh, for sure.
Just great to watch live NBL action once again, but then to the networking, meeting new people as you go along. This is the tremendous thing about the sport, meeting people, creating those networks and those friendships that will last a long time. And that's what it's all about, JB. So I was really happy to be around it, be involved in it, and certainly, I really hope that, Tasmania does get this NBL team.
Oh, for sure.
And it does get up.
And a lot of locals involved too at score bench. I mean, Ruben Wilcox has worked his way up the ranks.
Yes.
He was doing some reffing as well. And you'd actually be surprised the amount of local Tasmanian people and people who are recognised, throughout as main Tasmanian figures that were really involved in this. This isn't just a matter of the government threw a bit of cash at them and they came walking down. There was a lot of work behind the scenes. I mean, you've got Ronnie and myself fronting here in the camera and, you've seen us do our media work, but there are a lot of people behind the scenes, score bench, etc., doing a lot of work. So shout out to you guys as well.
Absolutely.
More valuable experience for them.
All right, let's get on to some Chargers news now. And, of course, Chargers have their AGM coming up on October 21.
Not far away.
And still no news yet on an announcement as far as in regards to the potential of an NBL 1 licence. There are still in talks as far as we know. And, JB, at this stage, an announcement is kind of imminent, so to speak. Dave Bartlett spoke to us about a month or two ago and said about a 4 to 6 week timeline. We're now kind of at that 4 to 6 week timeline, so hopefully we're going to hear something in the next few weeks.
Yes, very, very soon, you'd like to think. I mean, it's a bit different this year too. The Siebel sort of fell out and ended within a week of the grand final. Everyone was sort of up in arms as to where the licences were going to be and what's going to happen. But the league right now wants to get on top, wants to get its licences sorted, I'm pretty sure wanting to get a fixture out as soon as possible, which is going to allow teams to get their pre-season underway, get their schedule and everything sorted. So don't be surprised in the next couple of weeks. As Ronnie said, we are at the point of that timeline. We're going to get something sorted, hopefully sooner than later. But no doubt you'll hear from Chargers President David Bartlett. You'll hear it from us as well, just what's going on there. And I mean, there's a lot of other things floating around in regards to that as well. I mean, the Chargers, we're hopeful, we're positive to get back on the floor, no doubt about it. A lot of people chomping at the bit, a lot of people asking us at the bit. Again, we'll let you know as soon as we know. But pretty positive. Hopefully, Ronald, as we said, we're within that timeline. And as we know, David can be very tight-lipped when we try and get anything out of him. You could have a crowbar up to his jaw and nothing's going to come out of him at that point there. So, when we know, you'll be the first to know. But positive outlook, positive signs, and hopefully clear 2020 vision for NBL 1 2020, Ronnie, so to speak.
Let's hope so. All right, you can still follow the Hobart Chargers on their social media. You can give them a like on Facebook. You can follow them on Twitter. You can give them a follow on Instagram as well too. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well too. So keep up to date with all the goings on here at the Hobart Chargers. Now, just before we go, we were able to catch up with NBL Hall of Famer, the man, Cal Bruton. He has been in the state for the Blitz, of course. And, of course, the NBL Blitz trophy is named after Cal and Leroy Loggins, so the Loggins Bruton Cup. And, of course, JB, we gave you the opportunity to interview the great man. And that's why we're going to finish off with a bit of a snippet of that interview. The interview was long, so to speak.
I may have been told I had unlimited time and then told to wrap up. Don't know who did that. But no, it was great to catch up with Cow. And I mean, Cow's genuine. He's always interested in what we're doing here at Chargers TV. I mean, we follow him fairly well on Facebook and through his social media. A legend of the game. All he wants is the best for the sport. He's really branching out across the country with his Bruton basketball and other stuff there. You'll grab that in the interview as well. But always great to catch up with Cow. Plenty of time for us, and always fun and interesting when talking to the great man.
Oh, absolutely. It's always great to have Cow down here. So we'll leave you with a little bit of a portion of that interview. The rest of the interview you can see on the Hobart Chargers YouTube channel. That will be up over in the next few days. We'll be back in this. We'll let you know about it in the end of year show. We're just not sure of the dates and the time kind of line at the moment.
At this point, we'll probably be working around an announcement. I'd say our 3 bullet points, Ronnie, would be working around an announcement from David Bartlett, results out of probably the AGM once we're allowed to publicly spill them, and then, if things are all well and good, we'll be aiming for a Christmas show. So we signed a 3-deal contract. We're going to extend it on our own behalf to 5, potentially.
My word.
So, they'd be key things to note for. So an announcement from President David Bartlett, results of our AGM, if anything changes, and then hopefully an end-of-year show, which was going to cover a big 12 months of basketball Tassie-wise, and then hopefully previewing a massive season for NBL 1 2020.
All right. In the meantime, on behalf of Justin Bryan, I'm Ron Riggs. This has been another edition of Chargers TV, and it's goodbye.
It's great to be here, Justin. I had a great few days here covering the state from, north and south, Launceston and here in Hobart, and saw some great games and caught up with a lot of familiar faces, so it was a pretty exciting time.